Hey guys, thanks for joining me. And if you like what you see, please subscribe.
Hello, peoples. Welcome to Sharp Ends. So, I have a review of this exciting little knife. It is the Iron River from Bark River Knives. I'm a little confused about the history of the design of this knife. I think it was originally made for Northwoods by Bark River, and now Bark River is just making them. I got this from Knife Ship Free, and I went ahead and splurged and I asked for the mosaic pins and the maple burl. I have a maple burl uh, fetish, if you will. I have three Bark River knives now with the maple burl. They go kind of like from large to now the Iron River, which is the smallest. This is the first production run of the field trekker. I always forget what the name of this knife is, but it's very cool shape. All three of these knives are convex, but this one's got this secondary swedge up here, which is pretty cool. This is a full convex grind, and then the Iron River itself is a combination of a saber grind and a convex grind. But these are the three different kinds of maple burl that I got from them. So I asked for maple burl three times, or actually asked for green and yellow maple burl for three times. And these are the three different ones that I've gotten. This is all stabilized wood. Very nice, very pretty. I like the shapes a lot. I'm going to put these aside now, concentrate on this. But first, I'd like to ask you to leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you want to. It really helps out the channel. So this is an older design, and I believe it was for Northwoods, but it's very interesting. It's got a lot of belly here, and in a way, it kind of reminds me of. This is going to sound strange, but kind of reminds me of the shape of a Spyderco Paramilitary 2, without the hump or the hole. Um, it has that belly, which is going to be great for cutting and slicing, right? And this is a relatively small knife too, and it's got this great line. I always like to look at the line at the back of the knife, and it's got a great line here along the spine, and then it has almost an S shape to it, right? Where it's got this curve and then back and in, right? And that just makes it really nice. Now, as far as like holding it, your pinky finger does not lock in here. At least mine doesn't, because my hands are so big. Really, my third finger locks in there, and my pinky rests on the hump there. But I don't find that to be a problem. I'm using this 99% of the time for food prep, and for food prep, it is an absolute beast. It's really good king at that. Um, and talking about size, I just kind of showed you in comparison to a paramilitary 2, but you know, the blade is only 3 inches long, and overall we're talking 7 inches. This is the bird and trout knife, like a little bit of a step up. It's 3.5 and 8. And then the field knife is 4 and 8.5, right? So there's a step down in each one of those. You'll notice that the bird and trout knife actually shares the same kind of handle with or almost the same kind of scales shape, but not quite. It's not quite as humpy as this, and it has a little notch back here, but pretty close. Anyway, overall, I absolutely love the look and the aesthetics and the finish of this knife. I think it's really high quality. I like the fact that this is a combination convex and saber grind too. I think that that's really cool, and I think it should be done more, honestly. Having a full convex knife is nice, but having a little bit of having the convex reduced to a smaller area makes it better for slicing, in my opinion. And that's what the saber part of this grind does for you. If you think about it, instead of having a hill, you're shortening the amount of convex. The convex grind is good for parting. It's specifically not it's specifically not thin behind the edge. It specifically comes up so that your knife is going to stay sharper longer. It's going to be better for bushcraft and meat preparation. But it also is going to make it less slicey with other types of things. So this kind of gives you the best of both worlds in my estimation. Like, you get a little bit less of the convex hump, And this high side over here basically makes it so that for a convex grind, it's a little bit more slicey than you would expect. This is a short blade, but made with stocky material. This is a full 1/8 inch. This isn't your LT. And the choice of knife steel is MagnaCut on here. And I have to really applaud them for that because now Bark River's been using a lot of MagnaCut lately. They always have been using 3V as well, 154 cm, A2, O1, that kind of stuff. But I think specifically for a short little knife like this, it's going to be used for a lot of food prep and probably used in the field and get wet and be next to the sink a lot. MagnaCut is the clear best choice for this knife. And so far, it hasn't rusted at all. I have been pretty good about drying it off, but there's been times when I've left stuff on it and left it by the sink and it still hasn't rusted. Sometimes MagnaCut will rust, and I think that that's because of the finish on it. I have most of my MagnaCut does not rust at all, but sometimes if it's ground a certain way, and I don't really know this, or maybe it's washed a certain way. If the surface of the steel is left too pitted, and water can really sit in there for a very long time, it will rust. It's something about the finish, but this is a nice clean surface here, and it's not rusted at all, so that's great. Having said that, like, my 3V hasn't rusted either. And I think that sometimes people, when they get a knife that rusts and it's supposed to be more rust resistant, they're not taking into account maybe that they're going through things that are acidic, and they don't realize that some things like tomatoes are acidic, or lemon obviously is acidic, and that is gonna rust faster, make your knives rust faster. And also they're not taking into account the finish of the knife, and is it stone washed, is it polished, what kind of belt grind did they use. Also, did they take their belt that they are sharpening their knives with, and did they sharpen it with non-stainless steel first, and then they moved on to MagnaCut? That will actually cause your knife to rust too, because the particles from the non rust resistant steel will actually get inside the surface of your resistant steel. So you need to make sure that the blade isn't contaminated with an old sanding belt too. All right, sorry, that was a long tangent. What we're talking about is the Iron River here. So I don't understand the complete history of this. I know that these are still for sale at Knives Ship Free. Think that the base model is $224, and the price goes up from there. I just want to point out one other thing too. This was obviously more expensive because I got the mosaic pins and the specialty thing, and I got it on a pre-order as well. There's an inclusion here in the scale handle, and they filled it in with epoxy. They obviously stabilized this, and I don't mind that. I actually think that looks pretty cool there. But this whorl is really cool. Like, this is a cool piece of wood that someone found and turned into a knife scale, and I'm really, really proud to own this. And this is definitely something that's going to stay in my collection forever. It's just a really sweet knife. It's a really good example of a small fixed blade, which I totally have become in love with. And a good knife steel. This is MagnaCut is still relatively new. It's only been out for about 2 years now. And just overall, this is also marks, I think, Bark River really turning the edge on quality control. I don't have any issues with any of this. It's still really sharp. I obviously, use a strop to keep it sharp, but I mean, this is just overall a total banger. I can't believe that they're still for sale over there, other than the fact that it's a small knife and it's really expensive. But I would have thought that more people would have bought them up by now. There'll be a link down below for that too. And the knife is fairly light, fits really well in the hand. I'm just overall a big fan of this. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. If you like this content, please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. It really helps me out. And if you want to be entered to win a free knife every month, you can follow the link down below to become a Patreon member and support me. I thank you guys so much for following me and for subscribing. And if you don't like this content, please unlike and unsubscribe. All right, bye guys. See you next time.